The darkest corners of addiction. What's worse than alcohol and drugs? I've been sober a long time. I can tell you the people I have encountered in recovery with the worst stories are gamblers. The wreckage and the lows they hit are just insane. I used to work short-stay crisis psychiatry. We would often get gambling addicts at the end of a manic gambling binge. Suicide was definitely a risk. Gambling. Edit. Quick plugin for raw problem gambling for anyone who needs help, courtesy of Ugamer Jude NYC. With drugs there's only so much you can use before you overdose, but with gambling there's no limit to what you can lose. Being addicted to an abusive person. Hard to say what's worse than, but gambling would be my next best guess. It's wild how quickly that shit can destroy a person's life. That shit should not be legal. Gambling. I hate to admit it, but I lost everything, even my soul. I had a $400K house paid for and a great family. Now I have nothing, just myself in a shitty bedsit in a house share. I lost over £3 million in 15 years. I feel so guilty as my wife won't even let me see the kids as I took their home away. I don't know how I can recover from this as I'm now 54. I also defrauded the bank out of $30K, so I now have CFRS markers. So don't ever gamble, it's a terrible life-destroying addiction. Gambling for sure. I'm actually pretty upset that we can now gamble on anything, anywhere at any time on app sites, and even more upset that we are calling it and making a prediction instead of flat out what it is, placing a bet. Doom scrolling. It's free, legal, and quietly destroys your brain, sleep, and mental health. At least alcohol lets you pass out eventually. Hokey pokey. I was so addicted. I was shaking. I turned myself around. Thank you very much, Mr. London, wherever you are. Social media and 247 connectivity. My wife's big fat ass. Original World of Warcraft. Toxic relationships. You know it's bad, but you keep going back anyway. Pursuit of excessive wealth. Porn, because for the most part, it's free and easily available. Gambling. It can wreck your life while still convincing you the next round will fix everything. Phones. Everyone is glued to one. It a little dystopian looking around at say a beautiful beach lookouts and people are buried in superficiality, not reality. Food. You can't just stop it altogether. You still need to eat something to live. Porn. The effects may not be as bad as drugs or alcohol, but the problem with porn addiction is that it's currently the most common, barely unencouraged, and easily accessible addiction to get. Not to mention it mostly affects young people and could really tamper with their brain development. Porn. One of the hardest things to kick, I would say. Can destroy relationships. One of the worst habits one can get. Phones. It has destroyed our society. Sugar food. Study after study. Psychology review after review. How sugar hijacks reward processes of the brain. How there are impossible standards around body image and eat better or eat less. Starving ourselves, or gorging ourselves as the case may be. All chasing the impossible filtered images on the gram, the book, the spaces of Todd. Remember Todd? But then you extrapolate. Everyone needs to eat. So even in your most steadfast, most mindful and committed mindset, you have no choice but to re-trigger repeatedly. Alcoholism is a great example. I know some folks who willfully refuse even a single drop, even in their cooking, because they know themselves. They have a difficult choice, sometimes hourly, but they have a choice. Food, there is no choice. You have to eat. So we reach for what's quick, convenient. And that's easy sugars. Which then blows up everything else in our lives. Makes us susceptible to other things. Sugar, not so sweet and innocent after all. A toxic relationship you feel you can't get out of for whatever reason. Anger and rage. Not only is it bad for your health, but also you can be easily manipulated. Gambling and watching porn. I'm a cocktail waitress in a casino. We have regulars who are in 4 to 5 nights a week, for 3 to 4 hours at a time. World of Warcraft. A guy I knew who got moved to my state from New York used to deal and use every drug and said that none of it was as addictive as playing WoW. This was during TBC. Nicotine. I've seen people clean from the hardest drugs. Still gotta have a smoke. Exercise to the point of an eating disorder. Social media addiction is real and it damages in more subtle ways, but it's harder to break because a lot of people need to use it for daily living if they have certain careers. Also, sex and love addiction, especially if it involves risky behaviors. Benzodiazepines. Today I'm exactly 1 week free from this pest. I quit cigarettes some 20 years and thought that was hard, but it's nothing compared to quitting benzos. Gambling. Unlike substances, you can conceal the addiction from the people around you pretty much all the way to rock bottom. I've read more than few horror stories from spouses who had no idea there was a problem until bankruptcy was filed and their life was ruined. Farting on your own balls. Porn. It can decimate relationships, and the debauchery gets worse the further down the rabbit hole you go. Pornography. It shouldn't normalize the way it is. The adverse side effects it has on developing minds and even men already in relationships is no joke. It can literally lead to erectile dysfunction. A man even shot and killed his family for attempting to stop funding his OnlyFans addiction. It's genuinely brain rot, and also to a lesser degree sugar. While I wouldn't say it's worse than alcohol, I think we should look at sugar as more of a drug. It's more addictive than crack cocaine. It's literally a carcinogen, and it's in most American snacks in very unhealthy inordinate amounts.